Over an epic game 3, and Southside are through to their third grand final in 4 seasons. Reed swoops on the crown with massive basket.
3, you are kidding me.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions for the 4th time.
Hello and welcome to this round 6 Cygnett WNBL clash between the Adelaide Lightning and the Perth Lynx at Adelaide 36ers Arena. The Lightning, well, they're out for revenge, having dropped their last game to the Lynx back in round 2 by 7 points. My name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by the legendary Laurie Chiswick. We thank you for jumping on and coming in to watch what should be a very entertaining Sunday afternoon of hoops, Laurie.
Oh, exactly, Matt. Can't wait for the start of this game. And both teams have come at this game from different angles, except they've both come off losses. For Adelaide, oh, such an agonizing close 2-point loss to Sydney on Wednesday night. And then Perth on Thursday followed that up with a massive loss, uncharacteristic, to the Melbourne Boomers. Then they've had to travel to Adelaide, so I'll be really interested to see if fatigue plays any part in Perth's game tonight.
Yeah, an intriguing clash, no doubt about that. We mentioned the last time these two teams met back in round 2, and, well, it was 2 players that stood out in the battle of the boards, and it's set to resume here today.
Oh, really excited with these two, and we're gonna call it the rebound watch, I think, today. Matt, we'll keep track of it, but Brianna Turner, 15.6, first in the league. And then you have Annalie Maley. She's second in the league with 14.1. So it will be a battle of the boards, but they also bring a few other things to their team. Turner, she's had 17 blocks so far this season compared to Annalie's only 1. However, Annalie has it in the points department. She's averaging 12.9 points and Turner 7.3. So they are both equally important to their teams in different ways.
Yeah, just 2 elite players, no doubt about that. Of course, Brianna Turner, a 2-time WNBA defensive first team player as well. And we, of course, Annalie Maley, an MVP winner. This is how the ladder looks heading into this one, Laurie, and it's a familiar top 4.
Well, it is, and I looked back on my notes, and actually the top 4 in Melbourne, Townsville, Southside, and Perth have been exactly the same since round 3. Different order, mind you. We remember Perth started off really hotly and have dropped down to 4th. But there we go, the Sydney Flames, after 2 wins on this past round, they're really hot in the heels of Perth.
And of course, the UC Capitals, who play a little bit later today, still searching for that first victory. So we're getting very closer to tip-off, and we have a look at this Adelaide Lightning team. We mentioned Turner and Maley, that battle, but it would be remiss of us not to mention Izzy Borlase.
Oh, man, she's just having a wonderful season. Against Sydney, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. But the interesting thing with this is that we see that Taylor Brazel's being elevated into the starting lineup, and Lauren Mansfield will be coming off the bench. So Brazel had a great 11 points off the bench in the last game, so good to see that she's being able to, you know, get into the starting 5.
Yeah, not often you see that that C coming off the bench, the captain coming off the bench in Mansfield. Over now to Perth, and well, this is just a stacked lineup, isn't it? But surprisingly, they're only 1 game over 500 to start the season.
Well, in that lineup, none other than Ari McDonald. She leads the league in scoring. Last time these 2 teams played, she scored 29 points, so it'll be really crucial for Adelaide to try and find a way and a mean to stop her. But, you know, some of the other players, Potter, she's a real solid, you know, just a consistent player for them, and I like what she brings to the table.
So we're all set for a very, very exciting clash between these 2 teams, and it's also time for you to get your hands on the official WNBL app. It is finally here. We don't want you to miss a minute of the action, so your scores, your highlights, your player and team info, all of that good stuff. You can download the free WNBL app today. And it's also worth mentioning that the Adelaide Lightning, for the 2nd time this round, are wearing their yellow uniforms for road safety awareness. So tip-off just moments away. As we mentioned, the Lightning coming into this game 2-6, Perth Lynx 4-3, but of course the Adelaide Lightning at home. And the battle of the boards is what everyone is going to be watching between Turner and Maley. We are underway at the Adelaide 36ers arena. Well, we almost are.
Wow.
And that's going to be Perth ball.
Not sure I've seen a start of a game like that where two players chase it down. Maley gets a hand to it, and the other gets a foot to it.
A remarkable start. And if it's a sign of things to come, we should be in for an entertaining clash. So Perth will get things started. Let's see what they draw up. Well, they draw up a line drive triple for Maley, but she couldn't quite get it to go. Lightning back the other way now with their first possession. Will be desperate for a good start as they look to drag themselves back up the ladder. Oh, they had a backdoor cut wide open, but just missed it. Single digits on the shot clock. Got to go up. Little push off. And the friendly roll gets it to go, and a wonderful start.
We have seen that over and over from Borlase, just the strength that she has in her body and the control that she has to finish off a shot like that.
Remarkable for a player just 19 years of age. Oh, brilliant move from McDonald. Splits the D. This time, Maley, no, not quite.
And look at that push. That is the bread and butter of Adelaide. Just rebound, get out in the lanes and run, and finish strongly at the basket after the kick ahead.
The only counter to that push head is sometimes the turnovers do become a factor, Laurie.
Absolutely, and the last time these two teams played, in fact, Adelaide had 20 turnovers, so they'll really want to take care of business in that regard.
A big contest for the rebound. And we spoke about the battle of the boards between Maley and Turner, but clearly Emily Potter is going to play a really crucial role for Perth on that battle of the rebounds.
Absolutely. You know, you don't ever just rely on one player to get the boards. Everybody's got to crash them at the same time.
Good child with the miss, and it'll be Lightning coming back the other way. So Perth yet to open their account. Borlase with the only score of the game so far. The movement from both teams has been pretty solid to start this game. Pop out, wide open triple, and a little bit strong from Bourne, but the offensive rebound for the Lightning. Bourne again. Run into a little bit of trouble, and they reset. Single digits on the shot clock now. Nice move from Willoughby, and she scores on the reverse.
Well, good recognition that she had the foot speed against her opponent, took it strongly to the basket, reverse layup. Wow, I have to say, I'm surprised. Well, I don't know if I am surprised or not. Wow, that's a great finish. I'll recognize that before I continue talking about Perth. It was a strong finish by Willoughby, and Adelaide need her with that sort of aggression, that sort of mindset. But if I can go back to Perth, the last game that they played against Melbourne, when they lost by 31 points, they shot 11% from the three-point line, 3 from 27. And so far tonight, they've put up around 4 shots already and are 0 for 4. So, you know, they'll really want to be hoping that they can change that trend around.
Every player seems to have the green light. It hasn't been taken away after that 3 of 27 performance. But at the moment, they find themselves in a little bit of a hole, down 7-0 in the first 2 minutes. The Lightning have come to play. Here's Goodchild for 3, and she left it short, so there's another miss from deep. Will they get a second opportunity? The fight goes on. They just need something to settle them down, and a couple of free throws is a pretty good solution.
Well, it is, and that's the thing, is when you're not hitting from the outside, if you can, you know, at least get some inside touches, get your feet in the paint, get a pass into the paint, as they saw with Potter there, and you know, while she didn't finish, at least she finds herself at the line now.
So Emily Potter to the free throw line, looking to open Perth's account. And the first one does not drop, so yet to score across the first 2 minutes of this game. And they were desperate to get away to a good start after scoring just 62 in a blowout loss to Melbourne. And they finally get on the board. 7-1, Adelaide, the home team, with the early lead. So Willoughby, who started very, very well for the Lightning. Of course, as I mentioned at the top, wearing the yellow uniforms for road safety awareness. Line drive triple, not quite, and guess who came up with the rebound? Maley, and she's pushing it back the other way.
That was a strong board because she had some opposition there from Bourne.
And Brianna Turner, of course, a factor in the paint. She leads the league in blocks with 2.1 per game.
As I mentioned, she's had, I think, 17 for the season so far, making that 18 now. She just changes people's shots.
A little strong there for Emily Potter for the Perth Lynx. And again, yet to register a field goal. And how's the little touch on the right hand? It was $1 million move, but the 5-cent finish. Quickly back the other way. Potter one more time, and finally Perth have a field goal.
Well, they just did to Adelaide what Adelaide like to do to other teams.
And there is those turnovers, but one
another
right
one.
back. Frantic pace to this one early. Played just over 3 minutes, and the Lightning have the advantage. Here's ball ace. One way, back the other way, looking for Turner.
Oh.
And she tried to tiptoe the out of bounds line like a wide receiver, but couldn't get it done.
She knew that she was close, so she went on her toes, but just not. Feet were just a little bit too big, Matt, unfortunately.
Smaller shoe size next time.
Yeah.
Maley has been aggressive. Extra kick, McDonald for 3, and
Yes.
they needed that, and that's a big hit for the Lynx, and they're right back into this one. So Lightning through hands. Now down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Little foul line jumper from Turner. That was short, and Maley got the rebound. Goodchild in the face mask, and we've got a wedgie.
And we know that's something that's, you know, if you talk about the Lynx, their style of play, they want to, you know, pace and space, run the floor, shoot a 3-point shot if you're open that first 8 seconds. And that was an exact example of that, from a kick ahead to Goodchild and a shot.
They're 1 of 6 from deep at the moment, the Lynx, and they've only had 11 field goals, so more than 50% of their attempts have been from deep. Clearly signalling their intent. They're not afraid despite the poor shooting performance earlier in the round. Here's Willoughby, been really good to start. She's got 5 points now. She's got 7.
Like I say, I like the mindset of Willoughby, and she needs to continue to do that because she's important to this group.
McDonald a little bit strong. Yeah, you mentioned Willoughby. She only averages 11 points per game, and she's already got 7 here in the first 4.5 minutes. There's a nice little high-low play, and the Lightning are on a roll.
Really good look, and really good by Izzy Bourne to get her work done early, hold her seal, catch that ball high, not bring it down, and finish strongly.
It's how they draw it up in the playbook, isn't it? When you get that low post seal, feed the high in the middle, and then dump the pass off down low to the baseline. Gets the very, very user-friendly roll there, and then the Lightning back out to a 6-point lead. McDonald just threatening to get going in little patches here. Lightning just have to stay right on top of her, and that's a good way to do it. Get that weak stuff out of here.
That's a great timed block. She made that look really easy. We can see Lauren Mansfield's back on the floor, leading her team.
Will be interesting to see the minutes between Brazel and Mansfield. Despite the switch in starting, they still may play similar minutes, despite Brazel getting the nod in the starting 5, as we see. Wow. A lovely make from deep. That's a hot hand.
Willoughby's feeling good right now.
Up to 10 points in this one. She has 10 of their 15. Maley tries to answer back and left it short. Everybody stood to watch the rebound. It might have been backcourt. No call, and the Lynx get a chance to pull it back. Another 3-point attempt. Maley with another rebound. It is high-octane stuff, and finally, after all of that, we have a score from Clinch Hoykard.
And it's really important, the Lightning, you've got to make sure if they're going to shoot outside shots, it's one and done. They don't get second chance opportunities, because if you give a team like Perth or any team a second chance, likelihood is that they're going to score.
Frantic pace to start this game. Adelaide Lightning lead by 7. But that's going to get cut down very quickly as Amy Atwell steps up and goes bang.
And you can tell what a shooter's mentality this Perth team has. As you said, they've all got the green light, and right now they're all playing their role.
So Bourne with the turnover. It's something the Lightning have to stay on top of if they want to win this game. We're all on Jocelyn Willoughby watch as well. She's up to 10 points, yet to miss a shot. Got to keep feeding the hot hand. Single digits on the shot clock now for the Lynx. Ball goes through hands. It finds its way back to Atwell, but she couldn't make it stick. And the Lightning will come back the other way. and called for a walk there, Mansfield, but it was good to see that they were looking to Willoughby the last possession out.
Yes.
Despite the hot hand. She didn't actually touch the ball. She's now been taken out of the game as well. But when you've got a play going like she has been to start this game, you've got to get her the ball, even if it is to draw the attention of the defense.
Could not agree more, Matt. I always think if you hit a three-point shot, set the next play up down the floor for that player as well, because they're feeling it.
Perth again continue to let it go from deep, but those offensive rebounds you mentioned, Laurie, starting to become a little bit of a factor. Maley likes this matchup, and she is fouled. She'll go the line to shoot a pair.
Maley's quite deceptive when she gets the ball inside, and she had Borlace on her that time, and she knew that she had a little bit of a height advantage. She's really proficient at making her move to the basket.
It created space to go back to the left hand. And left the first short. So Maley 6 rebounds, Turner 6 rebounds. So the battle of the boards that we mentioned at the top, a tight battle, and just front rim on both. In the Lynx, it ends up being an empty trip for them. Ten seconds on the shot clock here for the Lightning. Ball finds its way eventually down to Easyborn, and she scores 2.
That was a bit of a friendly roll, but good action. Nice ball player movement, crisp passes.
Execution has been really solid as Maley misses again, and Borlace will come back the other way. Little lob pass, had a nice touch on it, found its way to Bourne, and hasn't she been a presence in the paint early?
She's been really good, really presenting, hands up. But again, it's that kick-ahead action there, and I really think in that instance, Perth got caught napping a little bit. They were back, but they hadn't really matched up or talked on who was going to take who.
So just under 2.5 minutes to play here in this opening period, and it's the Lightning who've shocked the Lynx a little bit, who of course wanted to get away to a good start after going down by over 30 points to Melbourne earlier in the round, as Bourne comes off after some good minutes. She leaves the floor with 6 points to her name, so a great start from Isabel Bourne. Make that 7 with the free throw, I apologize. Had the open look, but good hands from Turner. Mansfield looking to attack. And they will reset just. Again, shot clock winds down. That finds its way to Mansfield. Maeve stood out of bounds. Now looks to shake and bake, spins, and great hands and a great defensive set here from Perth, but they've got another 2.6 seconds to finally get a stop.
It was a good look by Mansfield. I think she almost could have maybe pulled up, although she did have a defender right on her. It was a good look for a shooter in the corner.
So Willoughby back in the game after a brief rest. As we mentioned, 10 points, yet to miss a shot at the moment. 4 of 4 from the field, including 1 of 1 from deep, as Annalie Maley just helps out Mila Goodchild with the face mask. Finally gets into Mansfield, has to get it up, and she did, and she scored.
Wow. That's experience there, knowing that there was only that 2.6 seconds on the shot clock. It was really a catch and shoot.
Sure, it's exactly how they drew it up, but the 2 points count all the same. Perth really looking to get Goodchild going at this point. Down to 6 on the shot clock, low post feed, good find, but just couldn't put it in, and almost another offensive rebound. It was Maley, incredible. Goodchild, line drive 3, and she left it short. And Maley is absolutely everywhere. It's all happening at the Adelaide 36ers arena.
Isn't that deja vu how they started the game? Wow. It is high octane. You know, 21 points for Adelaide, and still have over a minute to go. But you can just see the desperation of the players, and I love that first quarter. You know, everybody's up and about, and good to see.
Adelaide Lightning ball security. They're up by 10 points, but they have had over 5 turnovers at this point of the game. So it'll be a key point for them as we see Mansfield step into a 3 and make the basket.
Her footwork there was absolutely perfect. She came off a little down screen, caught it, footwork in rhythm, never in doubt.
Up by 13, the Lightning have come to play here on Sunday afternoon. Goodchild one way, back the other, and she left it short as well. Maybe that fatigue you spoke about, just taking them a little while to get going here, Perth. And a big block. No, it's a foul. I thought Turner might have been coming in, but she fouls Chibatoni, who will go to the line to shoot 2. So the Adelaide Lightning have truly jumped out their shooting. Over 60% from the field to start this game. 9 of 14. Compare that to Perth, who are 4 of 23 from the field. So +9 shot attempts, but -5 on makes for the Perth Lynx. And they're 2 of 12 from the land of plenty. So maybe some deja vu to earlier on in the round. About a 9-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Bourne has been a great presence inside.
I tell you what, Adelaide are just executing to perfection. They are moving the ball. They know where their players are. They're shooting it with confidence. They don't look like a team that just lost by 2 points last game.
Atwell tosses one up to end the quarter. It does not go, and it signifies the opening period of play. The Adelaide Lightning, they have come to play. They lead 26-13 against the Perth Lynx after 1.
Looking for your pathway in basketball? She Hoops Leadership and Confidence Scholarship can help. We're offering 30 girls from around Australia the opportunity to develop as coaches, players and officials, with mentoring from some of Australia's best basketballers and some of Australia's best coaches in breaking down barriers. If you're a girl aged 15 to 18, then this is for you. This 5-month program will accelerate your development both on and off the court. Interested? Head to shehoops.com.au to apply.
Welcome back to Adelaide 36's arena. It is the Adelaide Lightning and the Perth Lynx going at it on a Sunday afternoon, the Cygnett WNBL. And Laurie Chiswick, we're just catching our breath because what a start for Adelaide.
I agree. It's, as we mentioned, frenetic pace out there, but some real key takeouts for me were Perth 8 offensive rebounds, so that's something that Adelaide has to tie up. Perth 15% from the 3-point line. That's something they need to tidy up. And then if we look at our rebound watch, Turner 7, Maley 7.
Yeah, the battle of the boards we mentioned at the top, it has been thrilling, no doubt about that. But the Adelaide Lightning, they're 66% from the field to Perth 16%, just 4 of 24 Perth. So as I mentioned just before the end of the quarter, they're +9 in attempts, but really struggling to make anything stick from inside the arc, outside the arc, all of the above. What do you expect to see any changes from Perth in terms of structure, or are they just think these shots have got to drop at some point?
Well, I think that is Coach Ryan Petrick's style of play, and he encourages his players and he backs himself or his team to score more points than the opposition. So we'll see. I mean, I would like to see them get some more inside looks, whether that's through dribble penetration, as we see here, or pass penetration. But they looked a little bit disjointed in that play phase there, and it's only 3.8 left on the shot clock.
Yeah, stagnant start to the second quarter. Let's see what they can draw up here in the final 4 seconds of the offense. And I'm not sure that was exactly what they wanted to draw up. It's a backcourt violation, and the Lynx, the second quarter doesn't get underway the way they would have hoped.
And we should mention the great first quarter that Willoughby had, 10 points already. And so, you know, it's important that she stays engaged in this game and with that same sort of mindset.
The offensive execution has been brilliant from Adelaide. Mansfield has been a real factor coming off the bench today, but she couldn't get that one to go. Gibertoni, oh, the fake was brilliant. Nice. And the score as well.
You see, I like that she didn't just stop at the three-point line. She got the ball a little bit inside and then attacked it.
Brave cross-court pass eventually finds its way to Mansfield. Now through hands. Willoughby's been brilliant. 10 points already in this game. Happened pretty much all in the first 5 minutes. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Shot goes up and goes down. The Lightning continue on their merry way, and it was Brazel that time. 13-point advantage for Adelaide. Perth just looking for the answers. Is it going to come from beyond the arc? No, not this time, but again they get another opportunity.
Yeah, they just need to shut that down, Adelaide, because a team like Perth, there you go, now that's their scorer. That's 9 offensive rebounds now.
Amy Atwell up to 5 points. Could she get going? Great backdoor cut, if I can get the words out. It eventually finds its way to Willoughby. But now the Lightning get a second chance opportunity, and Willoughby again on the drive. She's up to 12 points.
She should be pointing to her teammate, Taylor Mole, and saying, great tap out on that offensive rebound.
She moves so well off the ball, Jocelyn Willoughby, and it's been a big reason why she's got a brilliant start to this game. Perth again look to be going to the paint a little bit more than they did in the first quarter. But this time they turn it over. It was Mole who came up with the ball. Now to Brazel and eventually over to Willoughby. There was a seal for Bourne. They'll reset and look to run a play. Great defensive work from Atwell. Wanted a second bite of the cherry. Adelaide keep the ball. It's a messy possession. It's going to end up with a jump ball, and it will stay with the Adelaide Lightning.
Both coaches are actually subbing fairly quickly. They're taking their main players off, giving them a quick blow, and then setting them back on. But it's been fairly consistent for both teams.
Is that a result of both having played earlier in the round, do you think, Laurie?
I think so, for sure. You know, you have to keep in mind that while they might feel fine and fresh right now, there's 4 quarters of basketball to play.
Gibertoni on the break, a little fend off, cleared some space. Couldn't quite get it to go. That's one way to make sure Brianna Turner doesn't block your shot. Gibertoni's brought some good energy here from Perth, though. Something that they needed is Mansfield a little bit strong. Potter tried to get the rebound. Ball ace with the floater, and she does not make a mistake. So much poise for a player just 19 years of age.
Well, I've been impressed how both teams, the second efforts out there, of just even trying to get a hand, a fingertip to the rebound, just a deflection to keep possession.
Let's see which way this one is going. Right idea, the execution not quite there, and the Lightning will regain possession off the turnover.
I'm sure the Adelaide fans are just desperate for a win here after riding the ship against Sydney Flames the other day.
Both teams, as we've mentioned, coming off a loss, and it's probably the reason why we're seeing such desperation as Mansfield. And she's come on with real purpose after starting on the bench.
You know, that's where you wish you could have a little bit of insight as to why she actually did start on the bench. But I tell you what, she's come with a real spark.
And a charge called on Potter. Ball ace drew it, I should say. And Potter will go to the bench, I believe. And she's not too happy about the call. Let's have a look at the replay. Ball ace was there, but Potter maybe just a little push off. And she goes to the bench. Not pleased with that decision. And Perth trailing by 17, almost halfway through the second quarter. Bourne doing a great job of trying to establish a low post presence. Again from deep. Adelaide, no, not quite. And McDonald just copped one in the side of the head, but it's going to stay with Adelaide.
Can I just point out that McDonald at this stage only has 3 points to her name in the game, and she leads the league in scoring, averaging 19.4 points. So Adelaide have done a really good job of negating and keeping her quiet.
Also worth mentioning that that last offensive foul call was Potter's 3rd of the game, so unlikely to see her again in this half. Mansfield draws the foul and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. So when things aren't going your way, throw in a little bit of foul trouble as well to one of your starters. And it's a tough, tough start to this game for the Perth Lynx. And a loss would see them go back to 500, which I think for many would be somewhat of a surprise coming into this season with the recruiting and the roster that they've got.
Well, I think they've been really interesting so far. You know, they sort of were up and about. I think they won their first 3 games at home, and then they had a big loss or big win against Melbourne, who were currently undefeated, and then they had a big loss. So they're sort of a bit of, you're not sure which team is going to show up right now.
Here is McDonald. We've mentioned her earlier, and she steps into a big 3 there.
I don't think you can ever underestimate a team that has a player with the likes of Ari McDonald. She's just been so fun to watch what she can do on the court and what she brings to that Perth team. You know, she, as I said, leads the league in points, is 3rd in assists, averaging 7, only behind Canada from Melbourne, who averages 9 a game. My goodness.
It's one of these things that, yes, sometimes if the shots aren't dropping, it can really hurt you, but it also means that when they do drop, they can catch back up in a real hurry. And speak about shots dropping, Jocelyn Willoughby is having some sort of game. 16 points, and the Lightning will look to go again. Boy stops, pops, and she scores, and the lead is 20, Laurie.
Just great composure by Borlase. Drove it in, was looking to see what the defense was going to do. Were they going to commit? Were they going to just hedge? And just went up with such control.
Fantastic finish. It is a timeout on the floor, and this timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. CTM Sport is here to transform your team's travel experience. You can leave the hassle of off-court arrangements to CTM Sport, the experts in sports travel management. Get the winning edge at ctmsport.com. The Adelaide Lightning, what a start. 40-20. They have shot out of the blocks like you wouldn't believe. Willoughby up to 16 points. And coming off the bench, Lauren Mansfield up to 9 points as well. This has been an incredible start.
Well, I don't think many people, myself included, would have picked this a 20-point margin with just over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. You know, I was sort of wondering myself, with the Lynx having such a poor game against Melbourne, sometimes that's a real, you know, inspiration to come back, and it's almost like, oh, the bear was poked, they're going to be really, really tough. But you know, to Adelaide's credit, that 2-point loss could have really deflated them, but instead it looks like it's just almost motivated them even more.
Certainly has. They are still shooting 64% from the field, and that's midway through the second quarter. Perth have improved their percentage a little bit, but they're still 7 of 30. That's 23%, and 3 of 15 from deep. And the other thing that's really hurt Perth in this quarter is 5 turnovers in 5 minutes to start the second period.
And you've got to give Adelaide credit for that. They're you know, up and in. They're long. They're getting their hands to things. You can see they've come out in a zone to try and mix it up right now.
It was Clinch Hoycard with the miss from the corner. So let's see if that zone was a one-hitter as well next time down the floor. Just a little wrinkle thrown in by the coaching staff.
See that Tonks has the ball, controlling the tempo.
Stagnant by their standards to start this game, but the brilliant up and under was awesome until the finish. And that's going to be called a charge on Annalie Malin. She's got to be careful here. Very animated after that decision, but the Lightning are going to get the ball back. You can have a look at the move by Turner.
Nice
crisscross. Up and under. Tough 50-50 call, but the defensive body was there.
I just wasn't sure whether, you know, she'd given her enough space to be able to you know,
establish the position, I suppose.
Turn, yeah.
So single digits on the shot clock again for the Lightning. Willoughby, not a bad play to pass the ball to in these situations, the way she's shooting the ball, and that was just her second miss of the contest. And we're going to get a foul back the other way. That's on Bola, and Amy Atwell will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Great kick ahead by Annalie Maley and good running up the floor by Amy Atwell. And again, you can just see here, she didn't settle, she took it in. Borlase was there, but just didn't have a chance to settle her feet.
One of the other really interesting stats to start this game is the points in the paint. Adelaide 20, so 50% of their points have come from in the paint, just a 6 for Perth. So that inside presence, not only off the drive, but Isabel Bourne has done a great job of establishing herself down low and has been a factor.
See, I like the fact that Perth got to themselves to the line, and they have been a little bit more because they're third in the competition. They shoot the free throws at 80%, so some good free throw shooters. Get yourself to the line.
And a little hold in play. I was a little bit worried that there potentially may have been an injury, but she's up and running around Izzy Bourlay, so nothing to worry about there. I think the whole crowd just held their breath for a moment as McDonald back the other way scores a much-needed 2 lead back to 16. And I think the Lightning are going to want to talk things over.
I think it's a good timeout anytime that, you know, it's only 2 baskets that they've scored, but Coach Nathurst feels like that's a little bit of a momentum swing, so wants to, you know, stop that straight away by calling a timeout and talking to her players.
Yeah, Adelaide Lightning, what a fantastic start to this game, 40-24. And this timeout is brought to you by Cygnett, Australia's #1 digital accessories brand. Cygnett continues to power the WNBL, Australian-owned and designed. Cygnett is available at JB Hi-Fi, Officeworks, and other leading retailers. You can visit cygnett.com. That is cygnett.com. So, a brief pause in this game, and it's going to be a really intriguing finish to the second quarter because Adelaide have really held the advantage throughout the entire first half, but in this last 3 minutes from 50, if Perth can drag it back to 10 points or less, they're probably pretty happy with that position considering where they've been.
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's exactly why the timeout was called, because that's not what Coach Nathurst wants. She wants to continue to put the foot on the pedal, to keep running, to keep kicking the ball ahead, to keep pushing it, play their brand of basketball, and they've been absolutely excellent in it so far in this game, in their ball movement, player movement. So for the Lynx, yes, they're going to want to make sure that they get good shots every time down the floor, and they need to come up with some stops. 40 points in you know, less than half.
And they continue on their merry way, and a fantastic finish in the corner from Bourne, showing that she can do it inside and outside. Maley desperate to get going from deep, but again short, and she's got to be careful because she's playing with 2 fouls at the moment. So Potter on the bench with 3, Maley playing with 2, so just another thing for Perth to worry about.
A lot of Perth shots, I've noticed, their perimeter shots have fallen short, so they've hit the front of the rim. Now, whether that's a tired shot, whether that's a rushed shot.
Something to keep an eye on as we progress. The only other player potentially in a little bit of foul worry or bother is Borlase, who has 2 personals at the moment, but not on the floor with 3:21 to play in the second quarter. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. They double team McDonald in a heap of trouble. Good find out. Well, extra pass, Maley. And that is that high-low action that we spoke about on the other end, but this time it's Perth.
Harry McDonald did a good job because that's a key for Adelaide. They're doubling her, getting the ball out of her hands.
We'll be looking at threat every time she touches it at the moment. As is Mansfield. Great find. As is Bourne. And what a fantastic game she's playing.
That wasn't easy. She's just able to have a real knack of getting her body in a position where she can score that.
And tough finish. Annalie Maley gets 2 points right back. And the steal now from Atwell. And a quick little 4 points, and the Lynx now bringing the energy.
That's what the Lynx need, but that's certainly, you know, Adelaide have to be careful about that.
That is just a coach killer, isn't it? You get a quick 4 points, you get the turnover, and then a player just dribbles it up the court.
Yeah,
the Red Sea parts, and it's a wide open layup.
Coast to coast, you don't want to see that.
Atwell from the corner, no. Here's Mansfield pushing the ball. Willoughby, she's been the one to watch. Good kick, Turner, extra one. Brazel from the corner, no. And Amy Atwell comes up with the board. Isabel Bourne up to 14 points of 5 of 6 shooting. She's having a fantastic game. Maylee turns the corner with real purpose and scores.
She did. She'd made it look like she was giving a nice little dribble handoff there. Kept the ball herself, rounded the corner. Good finish.
Just get the feeling this one's gone up a notch here in the last 90 seconds. Brazel pulls up. No, not quite. Turner, what an effort. Incredible.
See, now that's just... To me, that should bring energy to everybody. When you go after a board, you knock it out of desperate effort, and then you get it in, knock it off the player, and it's still your ball.
That battle of the boards is exactly what we wanted to see, and it was in full flight there. Turner has 7, Maylee up to 9 in that clash. We've got 1:34 to play here in the second quarter. And this timeout is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, proudly supporting community basketball in Australia, and don't we love them for it. So 47-32 the equation in what has been a thrilling first half. The top scorers, Willoughby has 18 for the Lightning, Bourne has 14 for the Lightning as well. Those two have done the bulk of the work. In fact, only 6 points. I apologise, only 15 points coming from any other player. So Mansfield 9 off the bench, Borlase 4 and Brazel 2. And for the Perth Lynx, well, nobody in double digits just yet, but Amy Atwell starting to get a little bit more involved with 9, as with McDonald with 8.
I think, you know, even this last, even adults, minute and a half left, the Lynx really need to focus on getting some stops. You know, Lightning potentially looking at a 100-point game here if they get any more, you know, another basket there. So the Lynx really need to focus on some defense. Couple of good shots go their way. And as you mentioned, if they can bring it under 10, well, that's, you know, in basketball, that's anybody's game.
Especially when we know how quickly they can score the basketball when the shots start dropping from deep. And Perth into a 2-3 zone here, almost caused the turnover. Probably should have looked at the 3. Now down to 4 seconds on the shot clock. Somebody's going to have to get it up. Why not Bourne the way that she's been playing, but that one just a little short.
And that's a good stop. That's what they wanted. I like that they came out in a zone there, just threw something different. We don't see that often from them.
So Perth with another opportunity here to cut into this lead with around 70 seconds to play. McDonald just hasn't quite yet exploded the way we're used to seeing her play. Wing 3 again off. The struggle continues from deep for the Lynx. And Adelaide now looking to get into their offense. It's been brilliant. The ball pinging around, finds its way to the corner. It deserved to go in, but it didn't. But they'll get another opportunity. We're going to get a reach foul over the back, so it'll stay with the Lightning here. 44.6 to play in the opening half.
Whilst Willoughby has 18 and Bourne 14, it feels like to the team, it doesn't matter who's scoring out there. They are looking for the open player. They are making the extra pass.
10 seconds on the shot clock here for the Lightning. Mansfield has been brilliant, pulls up. Lefties just do it a little bit better, and she scores 2.
She's playing a bit of a captain's role coming off the bench.
Certainly is, as McDonald drives hard, and that was the 2-for-1 opportunity. So she'll go to the line to shoot a pair, and then in theory, Perth should get a final look at it after the Lightning possession, with about a 4-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Got to give credit here to Adelaide, of course, 2-6 on the year, 7th. As you mentioned, Laurie, not expected by many to come out the way that they've come out. Perth have made a bit of a run in the back half of this second quarter, but they've done pretty well to just stand firm and still hold a 15-plus point advantage.
Well, you know, we have to give Adelaide credit. They're second in the competition in points against, so they average 71.5. So they are a good defensive team, and they're showing it today, keeping the Lynx to 34 points so far.
So Perth sticking in this 2-3 zone. And as I mentioned, about a 4-second differential between game clock and shot clock for the Lightning. Happy to really take everything that they can out of it. Willoughby through hands. Good job from McDonald. Ball loose. Let's see which way it's going to go. It will go to Perth, and they have 5.7 seconds on the clock to cut into this margin one more time. And we're going to get one more time out here in this second quarter.
And you know what? Why not? You've got timeout to use. You've got 5 seconds, 5.7 seconds on the easy to draw up a play, especially, you know, for the Lynx, who are very perimeter oriented. Get the ball up quickly. Look for one last great shot. So the stage set for a final Perth possession here in the first half, and this timeout brought to you by the WNBL app. The official app is finally here, and we don't want you to miss out on a minute of the action. So for your live scores, your highlights, your player and team info, and plenty more, download the free, and that's the really important part, the free WNBL app today. So we spoke about the battle of the boards and living up to expectation. Turner at 8, Maley at 9, both set for 15-plus board games. But it's the Adelaide Lightning who hold that advantage, 49-34. Of course, in the yellow uniforms for road safety awareness. They wore them on Wednesday night as well. And with the score where it is at the moment, Laurie, it's also worth mentioning Adelaide haven't beaten Perth since 2020. I saw that written down. I was quite surprised by that.
What can the Lynx draw up? Final play, McDonald
Nice,
downhill to the left hand. It was all too easy. And what a fantastic way to end the second quarter for the Perth Lynx. They cut the lead to 13. It was a first half owned by the Adelaide Lightning, but that is a fantastic way to finish.
Well, and you know she's got speed, she's got smarts. Get the ball in her hands, exactly what they did. Way to finish the quarter for the Perth Lynx.
It's an interesting one. They did a great job, Adelaide, of containing Erin McDonald, especially in the first quarter. But now all of a sudden she's up to 12 points. She's starting to feel it a little bit. And she's a player who can cut into this gap very, very quickly.
Well, and that's just the quality of the athlete that she is. And that's why she's leading the league in scoring. And you just cannot stop concentrating on her and taking some of her options away, because she is a quality player. Certainly is. There's no doubt about that. And she's had a fantastic start to the season as well. Of course, second in scoring, third in assists, and fifth in steals per game. Was part of the team of the round last round as well. We have a look at some of the team numbers. The shooting percentages drawn a little bit closer, but that 3 of 19, it's starting to get a little bit familiar from last time they played Perth. Yeah, I'm not sure. I liked the fact in the second quarter they got themselves to the free throw line a little bit more. I said that, as I said, they're really 80% free throw shooters, so you need to mix it up, have a little bit of both. But that's been their style of game since Ryan Petrick has taken over as coach, to shoot those threes. And as we know, it can change the game very quickly, and they're all capable of shooting it.
Certainly are. And another interesting one on those team stats was the Lynx have more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds, which I guess is a sign of the shooting percentages. We have a look at the individual performance. It was Willoughby who starred in the first quarter, but I think one of the, not surprises, but a real flash of brilliance has been Isabel Bourne, 14 points, and she's done it in a really efficient way.
Oh, I agree. I really like what she's doing out there, the shot she's taking, the IQ that she's playing with, her vision. But I'm also interested in Mansfield and how she's come off the bench and played a real role in this first half as well.
Yeah, she certainly has. You mentioned a bit of a captain's knock, and it's been certainly a bit of that as we run you through some of these highlights. Been a fantastic start to this game here in the first half. The Adelaide Lightning, they have the advantage, and we are pumped for a very, very entertaining second half. One half in the books, as I mentioned. The Adelaide Lightning 49, the Perth Lynx 36.
stars. This is the one that matters most. The Aussies are ready to unleash on 9 Summer of Awesome.
Ford dealers have backed sport in communities for nearly 100 years. And now, from the Boomers and Opals to Aussie Hoops, your local Ford dealer is proud to support basketball. Because all dreams start somewhere.
One player who is absolutely taking the competition by storm this season is Izzy Bola, the South Australian product. We know she comes from a family of sporting royalty, but she's making her own name in this competition.
It was my first season and didn't really have any expectations leading into it. I guess I received some acclamations at the end of the season. I had like an inkling that maybe I could come away with one of them, but getting 2 was just amazing and I was really grateful for that. My dad, who used to play football in the SANFL for the Port Magpies. My mum played for the Diamonds for netball. My brother plays in AFL and my sister does surf lifesaving rowing and she's represented Australia. I'm really lucky to have my family members who can help me out.
Now your heart is full again, Rachel Sport, because the iconic number 14 that you made famous here at the Adelaide Lightning in the WNBL was retired, but it is back on the back of Izzy Bola, and I know it's making your heart sing.
Certainly is. I couldn't think of anyone better. And I know that Izzy's doing some wonderful moves out there. Much better dribbler than I ever was. Rapt that to see number 14 out there, and really exciting future for Miss Bola.
You know, obviously in pre-season you could tell, you know, okay, this girl's going to be a star. She blew me away as well, just with, you know, the season she had, to watch her play and to watch her grow, and I'm excited to see what she does this season.
She's just got so much to her game. She's powerful, she's robust, she's got a perfect basketball body. She can go inside, she's a great rebounder. The basketball world is at her feet, really. She's going to have a great career.
I'd like to be better than I was last season. I haven't had the most ideal off-season with a couple of niggling injuries, so I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. So whatever happens, happens, really.
Hi, I'm Loz. I'm Izzy, and we're here with Leo and Anna with the Ford Aussie Hoops.
Get ready for 100 special events.
Merry Christmas!
Tonight at 7, the stars are out for Christmas. And when Mrs. Claus comes to town, Santa's secrets will be exposed.
My husband is well into his 70s and still working.
I've also heard he's got a second family in Darwin.
The 100 Christmas Special. Tonight at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
Hello, Australia. Want to go for a ride?
A summer heatwave has arrived.
This is it. This is what you've been waiting for.
4 spicy nights a week.
It's open season. It's Love Island.
Be afraid, boys.
The power has shifted. The girls are in charge.
What the hell? What the hell?
Surprise!
The steamy villain era has arrived. New Love Island. New episodes drop Monday to Thursday on 9 Now.
Hello and welcome back to this Cygnett WNBL clash between the Adelaide Lightning and the Perth Lynx. The story of the first half, the Adelaide Lightning, they've jumped out to an incredible start, 49-36. They lead over the Lynx in what has been an entertaining opening 2 quarters. My name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by Laurie Chiswick, and Laurie, we needed that break because it was a frantic first half.
Well, it was. And at one point, Adelaide were actually up by 20 points with just over 5 minutes to go. So it was a really, really good first half for them. But we know the potency of the Perth Lynx and how quickly they can pile on points. So Adelaide will just have to hold their nerve, keep doing what they're doing. They're the second best defensive team in the competition. And, you know, they need to keep that Perth Lynx at bay.
Going to be a very intriguing second half, that is for sure. We spoke about the Lightning's brilliant start, and well, that was led by Jocelyn Willoughby. She has 16 points to start this game, and she has just been fantastic in many different facets on the offensive end.
Well, I think right here is the way she started off, just a strong drive, recognizing that she had the foot speed, but she just gets herself to the basket so well. She started with such an aggressive mindset, and then to be able to light it up from the perimeter as well, she is tough to defend.
She's the type of player that when that three-point shot starts to drop, she becomes a real factor and moves well off the ball, which is something to be said in a league and an era of basketball where it's so heavy, dribble dominant. But if you can move well off the ball, you can tend to get cheap points.
Absolutely. And, you know, the thing is that because she's starting to shoot from the perimeter, players have to close out long to her, and now she can take them off the dribble. But as you said, she's just doing it all around. The dribble penetration, the moving off the ball, the three-point shot. She's one from the foul line. She's had a great first half.
You mentioned that the Lightning were up by 20 points at one stage. A big reason as to why Perth have dragged themselves back in this game has been Aari McDonald, who just started to get going a little bit in the end of that second quarter, and that's really a play to watch for the Lightning.
Well, you know, you think she's been pretty quiet for the first half. We haven't talked about her much, and she has 12 points. So she is somebody that can just come out of the woodwork, organize her team. And while we felt like she was quiet, she just commands so much attention out there that anytime the ball is in her hands, and you could see that one of the strategies for Adelaide was to double her when she came off a pick and roll and try and get it out of her hands. But you know what? 12 points. Still found its way onto the board for her.
And also one to note is Brazil will start the second half like she did in the first half. Lauren Mansfield to come off the bench, the skipper for the Adelaide Lightning. So we are underway here in this third quarter. The Lightning on their home floor, desperate to get a victory. They're 2-6 on the year at the moment. And that entry pass, not necessarily the way they wanted to get things going. It's a 3-on-2 fast break. We spoke about McDonald. Good kick to good shot. Can she get going? And she does.
That would be exactly the start that they wanted. Aari McDonald, get your feet in the paint, and then just a bullet pass out to Goodchild.
Goodchild, one of these players, hasn't quite fired yet this season, but we know how good she can be. A fantastic NBL 1 season in the South. And she'll be looking for a big second half here in this one. Bourne, she pick up from where she left off? No, and there's Potter, who is playing with 3 fouls. So Perth get a couple of stops, get a score. Now the lead back down to 10 points, can bring it to single digits. Potter, as I mentioned, playing in foul trouble, yet to be a factor at the moment, but she will get a chance to go to the line and cut this lead to single digits.
I liked how they looked for her inside because she was working hard to get position. You have to reward your bigs if that's the case. One thing about, you know, I was thinking about Emily Potter. She's a Canadian, thinking that just she'd be really enjoying her time in Perth right now, because I checked the weather. She's from Winnipeg and it's -10 and snowing right now. So she would be loving being in Australia.
Just a little bit of a difference. Ian Heaton has played in Greece as well and went to college at Utah. So quite the resume already for Emily Potter, and she'll be desperate to have some sort of impact in the second half after being limited in the first half by foul trouble. So just like that, the lead back to 8 points here for Adelaide, and they need a score just to settle themselves down. Will it be the right play to go to? Again, wow. There's that Euro step to the left hand, and she lays it up and in.
She looked so comfortable with that left hand, just stretched out to find that score.
Again, Potter involved in the offense early. Through hands, Maley with the catch down low, turnaround jumper, and she buries it, so the Lynx come out with real purpose here in the third. And that is going to be a charge. Amy Atwell draws it. Willoughby called for it, and the Lightning, this has been a really tough first 2 minutes for them.
Well, I think given that the 49 points that was scored, that Coach Ryan Petrick would have talked a little bit about defense at halftime, and it certainly is showing.
Get stops, get scores. It is that simple some of the time, and Perth, well, they're dragging themselves back into this game. Offensive movement just looking a little bit better as well. Players moving off the ball. Brave to go under on McDonald, but here's Potter. Looks to go the reverse, got herself in a bit of an awkward position, and the Lightning will come the other way, and they push the ball like they tend to do. Turner not quite a factor on offense yet. Ball ace is a play that we haven't spoken about too much, just the 6 points so far in this game. She'll have a chance to go to work here. Bourne sets the screen, flick. Extra one, Willoughby. I don't think it was meant to go to that spot.
I'm not sure what happened there.
No stress for Perth. It was a wild shot, and then quickly back down the other way. Amy Atwell, just a little bit concerned that player can collect the ball from one end, and we've seen it 1 or 2 times in this game, dribble the length of the court and then either draw the foul or get a layup.
Yeah, that's the first thing in defensive transition. You need to match up and try and slow the ball down.
So really quickly, Perth have brought this back now down to 7. Amy Atwell wearing those classic Kobe's.
And that's exactly what we said, that they're such a potent scoring team that, you know, a 13-point margin, you know, they'll have the belief that they can get this done.
And some up-court pressure, a bit of a half-court trap there from Perth. Another just wrinkle in the defense, and they settle back into a zone and to force the Lightning to create something. Bourne being fantastic in this game and continues to be.
She just used every inch of her length there to stretch out on that nice fingertip roll.
Potter down low. She can't get it to go with the left hand, so a good stop for the Lightning. Going to push it back out to 10 or more. Good high-low feed. It's been a real staple of their offense, but the big block from Potter. She means business in the second half, and here come the Lynx. Tap away, back to the Lightning. 2-on-1. Ball ace with the right, flips it up and in.
I'm never really sure about that little tap from behind when you get beaten on defense, but it certainly worked out for Adelaide in that instance.
McDonald goes to the rack, and this game has really turned up a notch here in the third. We might have an absolute barn burner on our hands down the stretch. Just a loose ball. And again, the offense has been a little bit stagnant here for Adelaide in the third. And that's a really tough finish.
Well, Borlase, as you mentioned, it's been a little bit quiet. And so, but again, we know she can, like McDonald, just light things up and take control of a game.
Yeah, quickly up to 10 points, almost another turnover, but a kick ball violation. So just 6 in the first half, but she's already up to 10. And it's just so handy to have a player that when things are just a little bit slow, that she can create for not only herself, but her teammates too.
Both teams just taking a breath right now because it's been a frenetic start to this half as well.
10-point lead here for the Lightning. Maley's been everywhere, as she always is. On the curl, no. Instead, they go back out to Maley, and she's been short on that triple a number of times, just looking to get the stroke going. Pinball inside, and eventually it comes out to the Lynx. There were hands everywhere. It was going side to side, up and down. But Perth come up with it, as they tend to have done here in the third. Potter turns, and she's short on the jumper. Maley up to 10 boards already in this game. Turner with 9 as the battle of the boards rages on. 1 and 2 in the competition. 7 on the shot clock. Mansfield wanted to shoot it, lost it, almost got it back. She did, she tapped it, and again it's a loose ball, and we might get a foul on Turner. It is. Looks a little bit like those training drills, Laurie, when the whistle gets put away and it's jungle ball. It's everybody for themselves underneath the basket.
I was just going to say, we saw Emily Potter sit down right now, and I think if I'd been Adelaide, I would have had a strategy maybe to attack her, try to get her a 4th foul early in that quarter, but she did a good job to stay out of trouble. Just having a little break right now.
There's some good minutes, able to be a presence and a focal point down low. Good hands from Brazel, but it'll stay with the Lynx.
Great job by Brazel, dropping low on that split line, knowing that that was going to be the next pass to the corner, and was just able to get a hand on that and deflect it.
And as teams tend to do in that position as well, they were settling back into a zone, now going back to the regular defense. One way, the other way. Great hands, Borlase. Still got it eventually. I don't know how McDonald. And then Shibatoni draws the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. And she's had some good minutes, been a nice boost of energy for Perth coming off the bench to start this one.
She has, and it's, you know, it's great to see her back in the competition and coming off the bench, but she's such a leader out there. She's got so much experience that she can really settle the team when she comes on as well.
Coach on the floor certainly has that experience, and a fan favourite for the Lynx. Second one goes, and the lead's back to 8. Borlase's looking to turn the corner. Great find, great cut, but couldn't quite drop. Fight down low. Ball wanted the rebound, and McDonald flies through to flick it back in for Perth. Chance to again cut into this lead. Maley spinning one way, the other way, and Mansfield just put her hand in the cookie jar, but got hand instead of ball, and it'll be free throws to come for Maley.
Well, I like the fact that Annalie didn't look to pass it out. She knew she had the mismatch there. She's taking her strongly. Just a little reach, even though Mansfield didn't feel like she got got a foul.
And just a lot of front rim today for Annalie Maley. From deep and now from the foul line. And although she's not scoring in bunches, she's been able to have an impact in other areas of the game and left that one short as well. And a wild turnover and pass from Brazel, and you can see the captain Mansfield just saying, let's just take a breath. We've still got the lead.
Yeah. Well, and there's still another quarter to go after the 4 minutes in this quarter, so there's a long time still to go. They just have to maintain their composure and stick to what they've done well so far. But then there's this lady here.
And that is one of the friendliest rolls you might ever see. Also worth noting, having a look at the foul count, Perth in the bonus, and the Lightning yet to draw a foul back the other way. Spin, oh, how sweet it was from Isabel Bourne. Having a fantastic game on the offensive end of the floor. Good take and drive and finish, that time from Clinch Hoykard. And now she's just hit the deck, so we will get a brief pause in play.
There's just some incidental contact as she finished her layup, and both players were sort of turning to run up the court.
Seems to be okay, just catching her breath and regaining her composure. And a little thumbs up there, so all is good. And we can have a look at the replay there. Yeah, just bounced off after the finish. But she stays on the floor, so all good on that front. And Perth have cut this down to 6 points with 3:05 to play in the third. This is better movement. Again, looking to Bourne down low. But great defense this time from Clinch Hoykard. And the Lynx can go again. If they can bury one from deep, they can make it just one possession. The spin from Maylee, and she's fouled. She'll go to the line again.
And the thing about Annalee is that every move she's making is with real purpose, being real assertive in it and quick. So it's very hard to defend that.
Just a few murmurs from the crowd, the home crowd, Adelaide, not happy with another foul call against their team, but that one's certainly there as the hands came down.
Just want her to use her legs and not have this foul shot fall short.
He had a really tough day shooting the ball. And there you go. Gets that one to drop, and that will be a relief for her. Now up to 9 points to go along with 10 rebounds, so destined for another double-double, it would seem. And there it is right there. So mainly, even in a game where you think maybe she hasn't had the impact that you'd expect, she's still got a double-double, and we've still got over a quarter to play.
Good extended pressure by Perth after made foul shot.
And just a little reach in and some cheers from the crowd as the home side finally get a foul call. Do you think we've seen Adelaide go to Willoughby enough here in the third quarter? She just has the 2 points in the third after 16 in the first half, and hasn't really been involved too much in the offense.
Well, she hasn't, but I feel like it's too... There we go, on cue. You should be a coach, Matt. There you go. It was just a nice little screen that she went hard off of, and it was a good pass because she was wide open.
Up to 20 now in the game for Willoughby. Great turn of the corner and a great finish from Mary McDonald. She's up to 18. As I mentioned, it looks like we're destined for a thrilling finish inside the final 2 minutes of the third. And Adelaide answer back, that time through Brazel.
I like what the energy, the shooting that Brazel's bringing to this team, but I also like the shooting and energy of Ari McDonald. Wow.
There's a timeout on the floor, and you just get the feeling Ari McDonald is reaching into the bag and pulling out some tricks. She's starting to get going now. She's up to 20 points in this game, and the Perth Lynx, they cut the lead back down to 5. It's the Lightning 64-59 with the advantage at the moment. This timeout is brought to you by Ford Aussie Hoops. Ford Aussie Hoops, the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10. Basketball Australia are launching the Ford Aussie Hoops Award for 2023. And if you want to find out more about that, you can visit aussiehoops.basketball to register. So, Laurie, Adelaide at the moment have done well enough to steady the ship a little bit, but you have a look at earlier in the game, they led by 20 there. They've only won 2 games this season. They're against a Perth team who's over 500. What do you think the message is in this timeout and then moving into the final quarter?
Well, I think the last, minute 42, you really have to go all right, we want to make sure any shot they take is contested. We want to get in the lanes. We want to make life difficult for them. Because right now, the Lynx are feeling much more comfortable in their offensive sets and how they're feeling out there. So they've got to go back to making them feel uncomfortable. And if they can, I think they've gone away a little bit from there, you know, get the rebound, push, run, and maybe that's a fatigue factor. But certainly you want to make sure that you get a good shot down, you know, a couple good shots in these last minute and a half.
Yeah, 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Lightning with the ball, they lead by 5. Down to single digits on the shot clock. Here's Mansfield. Little lefty jumper, she gets it to go, and we've mentioned it a few times, but coming off the bench tonight and up to 13 points now.
Well, her pull-up jump shot has been great, and it's a great decision.
Aari McDonald deserved the assist, and that's one that might get mentioned during the week at training a few times.
Well, you can see that Adelaide doubled our Aari McDonald to try and get it out of her hands, and again, that left Potter wide open, just wasn't able to finish.
He's Bourne. Happy to do it inside or outside. Oh. What a fantastic pass to Turner. Eyes in the back of her head.
That's on the highlight reel, that little pass. Great extra court vision, or sorry, great court vision for an extra pass.
What a remarkable find. Turner giving away the foul there. It'll be freebies to come, but talk about vision. Let's have a look at this. Willoughby to Bourne. And just splits the two, threads the eye of the needle, and Turner with the easiest of twos. It's about as good as it gets.
Well, and unfortunately, though, then she came back and drew her 4th foul and now is sitting on the bench. So that might impact our battle of the boards.
It might impact our battle of the boards.
I think she'll have to sit for a little while.
She currently has a +1 advantage, but just the 2 points, Turner. So that was her first score of the game. And as you mentioned, those 4 personals at the moment in this one. And Maley on the other side, she has a double-double with 10 and 10. And at the moment, the Lynx just at arm's reach at the moment, not going away, but not able to really crunch it back down to 2 or 3 points and potentially then take back the advantage. Inside the last 40 seconds here of the third quarter. The Lightning offense is slow, but it still has shown flashes of brilliance here in the third, and the brilliance has mostly come from Isabel Bourne, but she couldn't knock that one down. About a 3-second differential between game clock and shot clock here for Perth, so they'll be looking to take as much time off as they possibly can. Good child. One way, the other way. That's a really tough look. No dice. Here come the Lightning inside the final 10 seconds. Mansfield almost lost it. Hard take. Lefty runner. Couldn't get it to go. And that will spell the end for the third. The Adelaide Lightning lead 68-61 over the Perth Lynx. An up and down third quarter that saw Perth drag this lead back, and we truly look set for an exciting final period. Laurie Chiswick.
Oh, that was a 25-point quarter for Perth, if I do my math correctly, and that was a bit. And You know, 18% still isn't that flash, but as you said, they're still only down by 7 points.
The turnover number, an interesting one as well. As we mentioned at the top, when the last time these two teams met, Adelaide had 20 turnovers to Perth's 8. At halftime, it was relatively close, but now the Lightning have 5 more TOs than Perth, so something to keep an eye on as we enter this final quarter. And there's that battle of the boards.
Well, the top scorers, Ari McDonald with 22. As I mentioned earlier, last time they played, she had 29 points. So that's somebody that they want to try and keep the ball out of her hands. Very difficult, though, because she is elite at what she does.
So everyone is locked in and ready to go. This Cygnett WNBL clash between the Lightning and the Lynx. 10 minutes to play. The Lightning lead by 7, but the Lynx are on the charge. Atwell with a quick pull-up and a foul. And a big part of the reason why they've been able to drag themselves back into the game has been their ability to get to the line, Laurie.
And we talked about that the first quarter, the second quarter, because they're a good foul shooting team. So find ways and means. Put pressure on the defense. When they were coming down and shooting really early threes, it was putting no pressure or not testing Adelaide's defense at all. Well, they've certainly changed that around in that third quarter.
For context, 24 attempts from the line for Perth, just 6 for Adelaide. So a big differential there in the free throw count. And it's allowing Lynx just to ever so slowly drag themselves back into this one. Single digits on the clock for Lightning, a familiar sight. Brazel spins, what a fantastic move, and scores.
She just improves every single game that she is playing. She started, you know, the season on the bench. This was the first game I think that she started, and she's just proved that, you know, every bit of court time that she gets, she deserves.
Offensive rebound for Perth is going to eventually turn into a jump ball, and it will go to the Adelaide Lightning. So they get a stop there, and now a chance to potentially push it back out to double digits.
And that's the thing, is Adelaide need to continue to have a positive mindset and not be playing to, you know, just, oh, we can't lose this game. They're playing to win this game, and there's a big difference in that mindset.
Certainly is, and for a team that's 2-6, it's sometimes hard to get out of that mindset, and this could be a big point in their season if they can get this win on their own floor. Willoughby, Brazel, great defensive play there from the Perth Lynx. It was Atwell who came up with a stop, got it to Goodchild. She went through the step through. There was big contact, but Mansfield will push it back the other way. Brazel again operating on that 45. Ball is zipped through hands really nicely for Adelaide. Can they get the look they want? The help defense was good. Somehow found its way to Brazel, and she got it to go.
They needed that steadying basket. That now pushes that margin out to 11 points.
What a big basket. Definitely not how they drew it up, but they'll take it nonetheless. Here's Annalie Maley, just puts her head down, and now will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, as we've seen time and time again for the Lynx.
I thought Bourne did a pretty good job. She tried to keep a bit of spacing so Annalie couldn't use her body to spin off of her. But let's look at that three-point shot from the corner from Brazel. As Megan Huswaite last game called her Razzle Dazzle Taylor Brazel. Very apt.
And if you're Nat Hurst, the coach of the Lightning here, you're probably pretty happy with your decision to switch up the starters, because Brazel's come in, she's got 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Mansfield's come off the bench, played really well with 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and you've got the lead. So at the moment, tick on that front.
Exactly.
Willoughby for 3, couldn't get it to drop, and the Lynx now, as time maybe just starts to work against them a little fraction, but we know how quickly they can get going. Amy Atwell's one of those players, and a real big fight for the rebound. Saw Mila Goodchild.
Yeah, I thought Adelaide did a pretty good job of blocking out, at least trying now.
Wide open. I'm not sure that was on the scout to leave McDonald that open on the three-point line, but she couldn't make them pay. got 7.25 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Adelaide 36ers arena. Brazel looking to keep the ball rolling for her, but a little strong on the layup. They might have the advantage here, Perth. Mansfield guessed right. Atwell kept her dribble, and I think it'll be sideline out of bounds. The foul is on Mansfield. That is her third personal. Brianna Turner on the bench with 4. Borlase has 3. And on the other side of the 4 for the Lynx, Potter has 3. All of those coming in the first half.
It'll be interesting to see how long Brianna Turner sits. She's got the 4 fouls, and sort of when Nat Hurst, decides that it's time, she can play with 4 fouls.
And another foul on the Adelaide Lightning. So clearly after the first quarter, there was a direction for Perth to get to the basket, which is what you were asking for, Laurie, and they did listen, because their ability now to get into the paint and draw fouls has been crucial.
Well, and now you look at the foul trouble. Turner 4, Borlase 3, Mansfield 3. So they've done a really good job, Perth, of testing Adelaide's defense and attacking them, getting themselves to the foul line.
Yeah, massive advantage in the free throw numbers. The foul count 16 on the Lightning, 8 on the Lynx. And the Lynx have gone to the line for 26 attempts. So a massive number there compared to just 6. So they're plus 20 on attempts from the free throw line.
Well, why wouldn't you go to the line? As I've said over and over, they shoot the ball at 80%. Second in the competition.
The Lightning, though, still just holding this advantage, and now they will get an opportunity to shoot free throws. And again, it was Isabel Bourne who, for mine, has almost been the difference between these two teams at the moment. Her play's been really fantastic and has given the Lightning something a little bit different to Borlase and Willoughby, which we've seen time and time before.
Well, I think we every game we seem to highlight Borlase, justifiably so. She's a great player and has done a great job. But Bourne, I agree with you, to me, is really holding this team together right now.
So they get another opportunity off the free throw, and that foul's going to go against Atwell for the reach-in. And also worth noting that the next foul on Perth, they're going to go to the free throw line for bonus free throws. We've got 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, so that could be a really big factor.
Yeah.
Action comes for Mansfield. Set 3, and she goes bang.
Such a great read. Read where your defense are. Go opposite. Get your feet set.
The offensive execution has been brilliant. And speaking about offensive execution, Harry McDonald with a brilliant finish.
She is so cagey and quick. She's so explosive off that first step and getting herself to the free throw line. And now, as you mentioned, every foul from here on in, Perth will be going to the line.
She's one of those players that just seems to recognize, even after a make, if the other team's just couple of % down on their attention after a miss or a make on the defensive end of the floor, she's just ready to take advantage in transition. That's a tough move and a little too strong from Borlase. Hasn't had the best of games, but should still be able to have an impact somewhere. Again, McDonald, one way, the other way. Oh, my goodness.
That is an MVP move, MVP performance so far today.
Up to 27 points. She is having an afternoon out and is pulling out all the tricks here on this Sunday afternoon hoops. Bourne left it short. She is top 10 in the league for three-point makes, Isabel Bourne, but couldn't get that one to go. Let's have a look at this on the replay. Faked everyone out of their shoes.
I wonder if it would be prudent of Adelaide to maybe try a zone, or maybe tried it a little bit earlier. We know they were only shooting 16% from the three-point line. Pack it in, take away the opportunity to have fouls, make them shoot it. We know they can light it up. There you go.
On cue.
Oh, well. There goes that rationale.
And McDonald playing a fantastic role here in this one. up to 30 points. Willoughby left it short. The lead back to just 3. 1 basket. And there's McDonald getting down on the ground and fighting for that one as well. She's looking to put her team on her back and drag them across the finish line here.
And again, the difference between Willoughby in that shot and what we saw in the first quarter, certainly maybe the first half, was a much more of an aggressive mindset, get herself to the basket. You know, the referees are calling a lot, let's face it. So, you know, get to the line, get to the, you know, attack it all the way and see if you can draw a foul.
Really big moment here for Perth. They haven't been this close in a little while with the ball in hand. Chance to either draw level or cut it to 1. Turnaround Potter. She's had a tough day at the office. Couldn't get it to go. And we said Boulays might have an impact down the stretch despite a quiet night, and that was a handy rebound.
Lindsay Turner's back on the floor now for these last 5 minutes.
Single digits on the shot clock. Boulays one way, back the other way. Made McDonald touch her, but McDonald again throwing herself around, and she's going to go to the free throw line with that foul. And a chance to improve on her 30-point night. And this is that bonus that we were talking about. It really hurts you just contesting a loose ball. You give away the foul, 4.5 to play, and you go from one end of the court to the other.
And we know, we've talked about it over and over all season, how important foul shots are, and there's been so many close games this season in the Cygnett WNBL, and so the foul shooting is just really crucial.
4:36 to play in the fourth. Ever since the halftime break, it's had the feeling of an absolute thriller, and we seem to still be heading in that direction as Willoughby goes off for a break. Mansfield back onto the court as they look to navigate this little trap that the Lynx are trying to set, and it almost worked out. And almost a walk as well from Brianna Turner, but now Lightning will reset, but a lot of times sapped off the shot clock. Turner going one-on-one. We haven't seen this much, and I don't know why we haven't if she's going to finish like that.
She looked very, very comfortable off the dribble and the left-hand finish.
Pushes the lead back out to 4. McDonald tries to continue. That was a bit of a heat check. And look, there's our battle of the boards. They're wrestling on the ground for it. And we get our 3rd jump ball of the quarter.
Well, you think that this round so far, we've had 2 two-point games. And this one looks like it's certainly heating up to come right down to the wire as well.
Not sure if I was the only one, Laurie, but I just assumed that Ari McDonald shot was going to drop the way she's playing in this 4th quarter. Sometimes players get to that stage where you just think it's going in no matter what they put up. Mansfield, tough take, extra kick, Bourne for 3, 45. That's a big hit for the Lightning.
Really big inside out, extra pass. Bourne with her feet set, her hands set, never looked like missing.
If you want to learn how to navigate a defense, that was the way to do it. McDonald really starting to feel it at the moment. But it was Steve Nash just around the whole paint. But eventually finds Maley, and she gets one to go when needed. And back and forth we go with 3:20 to play. Mansfield, left-hand take, might have been some contact, no call, and here comes Annalie Maley. Lead still 5 for the Lightning. That's Chibatoni in the corner. Good extra pass to Potter, and that's a friendly roll. Back to 3 points, and really smart extra pass from Chibatoni. It looked as though that was going to go up, but she just gets her center involved in a much easier look inside the paint, and it's back to a 1-basket game.
Well, it's nice when you can see your bigs running the floor and being able to reward them with that pass inside and a nice finish by Potter.
Interesting to see how long Willoughby sits for the Lightning. Inside 3 minutes to go in this game, still on the bench, not in foul trouble for this point of the game anyway. Bourne. Right idea to Turner, but there were too many hands in there from Perth. McDonald just pushing the break. Atwell can hit the extra one. Maley has struggled from deep, but this time she steps up and makes them pay.
Well, if you're going to miss all game and finally make one, to tie it up at 82 all, now's the time, Annalie Maley.
The best players step up when they're needed, and look at this. Atwell, the extra pass. Maley had struggled from downtown. She'd missed her first 4, but she goes bang on the 5th attempt, and we are all tied up at 82 apiece at Adelaide 36ers Arena. 17 points and 13 rebounds for Annalie Maley in a game where it hasn't necessarily seemed like she's been dominant, but the good players just find a way to get it done.
They do, and you know, we know she's been rebounding. She's got a double-double, but you know, I like the fact that Atwell had the ball there, and Annalie Maley kept running and stretching and got right to the corner, able to make that extra pass. Really great basketball.
Interestingly there, it looks like Willoughby still not being checked back into the game as she was standing on the outer for that timeout. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Well, I think it's, you know, it's a hard one right now because I think probably Brazel's on there instead of her, and Brazel's done a really good job and is, you know, hitting that perimeter shot, and I guess it's who they feel they're best matched up with. And so this is a test for Lightning. They're less experienced than the Lynx. This is where you have to learn how to, you know, win these close games. They've had a few close games. How can they get over the line?
It was only a few nights ago that the Lightning had their hearts broken by the Flames, and now they're looking to cling on here against the Lynx. All tied up, 82 apiece. Here's ball ace. Is she the one to get going? Has had a relatively quiet night. Shot's got to go up here from Mansfield. Turns the corner, throws up a curl, and it was answered.
Oh, wow. She is playing with such confidence.
You can't switch off, though. Brianna Turner with a good block. Lightning with the lead inside the final 2 minutes.
They don't want to foul, because any foul, whether it's shooting or not, sends them to the line.
McDonald, this is a really stagnant possession here from the Lynx. Can McDonald still create something? And a foul on Brazel.
You see, that is such experience by Ari McDonald. She drove, she had her player on her hip. Then she initiated the contact. You can just see her going back into Brazel, who had no choice but to try and block it, but pushed the body. That's just an experienced play.
She's up to 31 points in this game and heads to the free throw line, but cannot get the first one to drop. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. The Lynx staying in this up-court trap that they're playing. They trail by 1.
Willoughby's back on the court.
See if she can have an impact on the offensive end of the floor. Just a tick over 90 seconds to play. And that's going to be an offensive foul. It won't be free throws because it's an offensive foul, but it will be possession to the Lynx. And that is just a coach killer when you've got the ball, time winding down, a 1-point lead, and you don't even get a shot off.
Well, again, that's just that inexperience, that rushing at this stage of the game. They were trying to do the right thing. Just a moving screen.
The Lynx a chance to take the lead for the first time, I think, in the entire game at the moment. McDonald just a little too much dribble. Single digits on the clock. Maley just left it behind. Willoughby, that could be a carry. No call. Charging down the court. It's a block, and it'll be free throws to come for Jocelyn Willoughby.
Wow, I tell you what, Borlase did an amazing job at the other end of keeping Ari McDonald in front of her, because she was wheeling and dealing between her legs behind her back, and she somehow kept her in front of her and forced her to pick up her dribble.
So Jocelyn Willoughby to the free throw line. Almost hear a pin drop in the stadium as the first one goes.
I know, I'm holding my breath while she's shooting it.
Lead out to 2. Make that 3, so clutch free throws, a minute 12 to play, but still just a 1-possession ball game, and the Lynx now looking to answer. McDonald's been the one. Maley's also started to find her rhythm. That's a tough look, and she somehow gets it to go.
Annalie Maley.
Inside the final minute, the Lightning lead by just 1, and they need to answer again. Ball ace turns the corner, can drop it off to Turner. It was a little loose, single digits. Bourne's been fantastic. Kick, Turner. They've got to get a look. Let's see which way this is going. It'll stay with Adelaide, 2.7 on the clock.
So that's just the decision-making of Adelaide. You don't really want to kick it out to Turner at the three-point line. That's not her game. That's not what they want. Then you put your rest of your teammates under pressure, but at least they've come up with the ball with 2.7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Potter into the game for some defense and some rebounding.
Yep.
Coach Hoykard takes a rest. So 2.7. Their offensive execution in set plays has been pretty good so far for tonight for the Lightning. Can they do it again here in the clutch? And just to build some suspense, we've got a bit of a delay in play as well. Ready to go. Taking their time. Finds Mansfield. Lauren Mansfield. It's a long two, I think, but it's a clutch basket.
What a clutch basket from Mansfield. As we've said all day, coming off the bench, playing a captain's role, dragging her team ahead.
And it was brilliant offensive execution. Again, she just had her toes over the line, but Lauren Mansfield up to 20 points in this game. A captain's knock in terms of a cricketing sense, if ever we've seen one, and the Lightning lead 88-85, but it's still only a one-possession ball game.
Well, I think Perth are going to want to advance the ball, so they'll have 14 seconds on the shot clock. They'll set up a play, you know, maybe a good three, a look. I think they've just got to have the ball in Ari McDonald's hands. She'll make the decision. You know, is it a good shot for me? Will she kick it to a player? Will she penetrate and pitch it out? But certainly Adelaide have to make sure they don't give away any cheap fouls and just send them to the foul line. And then if they don't score, they can take care of it. Oh,
so
he's
they're
gone.
starting in the backcourt, which might be looking just to get McDonald downhill. And as you mentioned, Laurie, they probably will want a quick look, because if they do, they won't have to foul back the other way with the shot clock set up. But happy to slow it down here. Ball with McDonald. Puts her head down, kicks out to Atwell. Atwell to tie the game. Amy Atwell goes bang.
And that was just what the coach drew up on the whiteboard. Penetration, drew the defenders. Amy Atwell went right to the correct receiver spot, because that pass was just really over the shoulders. Well done, Perth.
Amy Atwell did a brilliant job to reel that ball in and let it fly with a tough closeout, and she goes bang. 88 apiece. We're all tied up. Over to you, Adelaide Lightning. Only about 1.3 second differential between game clock and shot clock. Laurie, what do you think the Lightning will look to do?
Well, so you really need to make sure that you, unless you have a wide open layup, you want to make sure you actually use the shot clock and get the last shot. So at the very least, you're going to go into overtime. So you want to work the ball around. I mean, as I say, if you get a clear, wide open layup, you take it. But otherwise, you want to make sure you don't give the Lynx the opportunity to come back and have a shot at the other end.
Worth noting as well that the Lynx do have a foul to give on this possession as well. So let's see if they use that at all. 25.3 on the clock. The Adelaide Lightning, they have been fantastic all day. They've held the advantage for most of the afternoon, and now they have a chance to win the game. And interestingly, the Lynx sticking with this trap. They want the ball back in regulation. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. Game on the line. All tied up at Adelaide 36ers Arena, and the Lightning should, in theory, have the final say. Inside single digits on the shot clock. Ball lays, tough look. She misses. Big rebound, the Lynx. They've got to hurry. They've got to go. Inside 3-2. It's going to be a prayer from McDonald. No dice. And we are going to overtime at Adelaide 36ers Arena. They just took a little too long to get going there, the Lynx.
Oh, they did. And I thought that Adelaide shot the ball a little too early, but Oh my goodness, can the Cygnett WNBL get any more exciting? This will be our third overtime game. I did some stats a little while ago, and there's been, I think, 12 games where it's been under 4 points. I mean, it's incredible, the tightness of this competition. Wow, how exciting.
Thrilling basketball, no doubt about that. Now for Adelaide, poor Adelaide fans, on Wednesday night they sat through a 64-66 loss. It was tight as you could possibly get, and now they're going to have to sit through an overtime period here to end their Sunday afternoon. I'm not sure if that's the nice, relaxing way they wanted to end their weekend.
You know, 20-point lead. You have to give full credit to Perth. They changed the way that they played in that second half. They came out, they ramped up their defense, made it much more difficult for Adelaide to look. They felt, you know, they weren't as comfortable as they were out there. But they did it too. Again, 23% from the three-point line. They did it by getting the ball inside by different ways and means. So, whew, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted already.
Everyone just take a breath. And really big, the big differential on that is the free throw count. You have a look at that. Adelaide Lightning 9 of 10. So when they've gone there, they've done the job. They just haven't gone there enough. Perth, on the other hand, plus 23 in terms of attempts and 16 extra points from the line. They are 25 of 33 from the charity stripe. And again, since the first quarter, we've seen those shooting percentages slowly start to level out. And it shouldn't be a surprise because we are all knotted up.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when it comes to the free throws, look, I think there's been a few 50-50 calls that have gone Lynx ways. But I think, you know, players have to adjust. And if the referees are calling, you know, every little thing, then you just have to try as best you can to make those adjustments. And you know, hopefully we'll see in this overtime period that the players stay on the court, nobody gets fouled out, and the players really decide the result of this game.
The Cygnett WNBL delivering in any way that you could possibly want. Free basketball here on your Sunday afternoon of hoops. It's the Adelaide Lightning, the Perth Lynx, that are all tied up at 88, and it is overtime just about to get underway. Bolace with 4 fouls, Turner with 4 fouls, Willoughby 3, Bourne 3, Brazel 3, Mansfield 3 for the Adelaide Lightning. That's that foul trouble you were talking about. On the other side of the ball, it's Potter with 4, and that's about it for the Lynx. Strap yourselves in. More of this thrilling contest underway. McDonald, she's up to 32 for the game. Atwell hit the clutch game tire, looking to pick up where she left off, but that one well short, and Lightning will get the ball back.
Yeah, keep an eye on that matchup with Ari McDonald and Izzy Borlace. She's doing a great job on her because, whew, McDonald can do anything right now.
So Lightning get the stop they would have wanted. Mansfield wide open from 3, and she makes them pay. What a game for Lauren Mansfield. 23 points off the bench to go along with 4 rebounds and 3 assists.
But just such a great read to her teammate.
Right idea from Lynx, and they eventually find its way to Ari McDonald. She couldn't make the 3 count. Maley comes up with the ball, might have copped a foul, didn't matter. She made them pay with the 2, lead back to 1.
Hasn't she come to light the last quarter and you know, started this overtime period, Annalie Maley?
The very best of the Cygnett WNBL right here, 91-90. We've played just over a minute in overtime. Mansfield maybe could have even thought about letting that one fly. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Eventually finds its way to Turner for the jumper. A little strong, and here come the Lynx. Maley just able to waltz wherever she wanted. Potter fighting for the rebound, and it'll stay with Perth. Annalie Maley just puts her hand up and apologises for the shot choice.
How is our Battle of the Boards doing anyway?
Battle of the Boards, Turner with 12, Annalie Maley with 14. But Maley having a much bigger impact on the offensive end of the floor, and that's a great baseline out of bounds play set up for the Lynx, and they score 2 and they take the lead by 1. Nice feed. Brianna Turner could not get it to go. That was Steph Gorman who put the Lynx up, by the way. That's her first points of the game, so talk about hitting them when they count. There's someone who loves to hit them when they count, Lauren Mansfield. She couldn't get it to go, and now the Lynx can push this advantage out. No surprise the ball finds its way to McDonald. A little bit of contact off the ball. Ball ace has been good. Potter just goes herself. Maley again flying in from the rebound. She's everywhere, but somehow the Lightning come up with possession. Willoughby been a little bit quiet here in the second half. Just up to 22 points after 16 in the first half. 3 ball on its way, and that's a big hit.
That is a big hit from a big-time youngster out there, Izzy Borlase. We talked that she's been a little bit quiet.
And then a turnover from Perth, so things starting to go the way of the Lightning. They hit a big triple through Izzy Borlase, and now they get a stop, and with 2:12 to play, they lead by 2.
And when I say she's had a quiet game, maybe from standards, but she's been doing a great job this last little while on staying with Erin McDonald, which is no mean feat.
Especially when you're playing with 4 personal fouls as well. Mansfield turns the corner, flicked it up, but couldn't flick it in. Here's Atwell. Maley running the break on the other side. Let's see what the call is, and that will be Izzy Borlase done for the afternoon on the block call. Her 5th personal foul, and so we were saying how great of a job she was doing to avoid picking up that 5th. She'd lasted so long. Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, I don't think her feet were quite set in that position. It was smart by Atwell to keep driving it in at her.
So Atwell to the free throw line, hits the first. We'll look to hit the second to tie it up, and we'll see how much of a difference not having Borlase on the floor is and who goes to McDonald.
Well, Brazel's on the floor, and she's done a good job.
Inside the final 2 minutes of overtime, 94-94. The Perth Lynx sticking in this trap that they've looked at a number of times. But Adelaide have done a really good job of navigating it so far. Willoughby find the stroke again, looking to go to Turner. Gorman, great hands, and comes up with a crucial stop. Lynx almost a moment of worry, but they reel the ball back in. Inside 90 seconds to play. Who's going to step up in the big moments? Of course, it's, we thought, going to be Erin McDonald. She couldn't get that to go. And then a foul as Isabel Bourne was trying to navigate her way through after collecting the rebound.
I don't think we've had double overtime yet. Is this the game?
It could very well be. I'm trying to... It's hard. It's one of these games where you think, okay, this team's taking the advantage. This team's got the momentum, and it just swings and roundabouts at the moment. Just get the feeling that that Perth trap might come up with a really crucial turnover at some point. It hasn't happened yet.
It's certainly done a good job of taking a bit of time off the clock.
Tense moment there from Adelaide. They've got to get busy now. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Step back, Bourne. Isabel Bourne left it short. Mansfield offensive rebound. And it
Thought
took
about it.
every ounce of her will not to shoot it. Willoughby, lots of contact. Got it back. Got to get the shot up. More contact from every angle, and it'll be free throws to come for Willoughby with 43 seconds on the clock. Potter did come up in with contact late, but I think the whistle was before, so she should be fine in terms of her foul trouble. We'll have a look at the replay. Yeah, the foul called there. Potter came in late.
So again, this is the test for a team like Adelaide, who's young, got some inexperienced players on the court in Bourne, in Brazel. We certainly know Mansfield is experienced, but it's that decision-making at the end of a tight game like this.
95-94 the way the Lightning. Willoughby hits the first, misses the second, so that could take potentially your double overtime out of it, Laurie. Inside 40 seconds to play. Perth now looking to take the advantage. McDonald has been the one. Step back triple. McDonald, as sweet as you like. What a move and what a finish, and Perth lead by 2, 27 seconds to go in overtime.
Talk about a clutch player who you want the ball in their hand at the end of a game like this. The step back three, and shot it with such confidence, Matt. Oh my goodness.
That is a play that would probably be a top 10, top 5 play for the round, regardless, even if it came in the first minute of the game. It's come in overtime in the last minute with her team down by 1 point, and she just put them up by 2. That is just stunning. And Aari McDonald now up to 35 points. What a performance. And now it's back over to the Lightning. Do they have the answer? No, ball ace. They haven't necessarily relied too much on her offensively. Who do you think's getting the ball down the stretch here for Adelaide?
Well, I really like Mansfield and her decision-making. Or Willoughby if she goes and attacks the basket aggressively. Either of those two, to me, are a really good option for the Lightning.
And it'll be interesting to see if they take it in the backcourt or the front court, and whether Perth again look to go to this trap that they've been playing throughout. So it looks like it's going to be in the backcourt, and there is some up-court pressure. So 27.1 on the game clock, 24 seconds on the shot clock. Adelaide trailed by 2. They lost by 2 on Wednesday night, and the trap is in place for Perth. They do eventually get it over. Now looking to run the offense. Turner looks to go left hand. It was a good look. She couldn't get it to go. They have to foul, and they do. So the right look, Laurie, it was decent. She got to the rim. We'd seen her made one of those earlier in this game, but could not get it to drop.
No, now we see the Lynx walk back to the other end, and really 10.5 seconds. If she makes both, it's probably out of reach, but if she only makes one, then the Lightning will have a chance for a 3-point shot.
It's been an up and down night from the free throw line for Maley, and that one does not drop. She's now 4 of 9 from the free throw line, so under 50%, but makes the second. 3-point game. They need a 3 to tie here, Adelaide. Inside 10 seconds. Turner, kick. Willoughby, it was a tough catch. Sidestep, triple. No, not quite. Turner flipped it up, but they needed the 3, and somehow the Perth Lynx have come away from Adelaide with a victory. What a game of basketball, Laurie.
Well, after getting that massive defeat at the hands of the Melbourne Boomers, really, really good away win, overtime for the Perth Lynx.
Stunning, wasn't it? Aari McDonald, an incredible 35 points. She was the difference in the end. That was an absolute thriller. And there's more to come on your Sunday afternoon of hoops. 1 in the books, 1 to